Hi, it's Sandy, and today I'm bringing you the Behind the Booktube tag. It's basically like a few questions about me as a booktuber and my relationship with Booktube. She says as a question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the questions out and answer them, because that's how a tag video works, Sandy. Why do I do this every time? Question 1 is, what has surprised you the most about Booktube, both in a good way and in a bad way? And I don't know. So, in a good way, it's not that I'm surprised that I've made a community, like that I've befriended people in the community, because that's just kind of goes hand in hand with being part of a community, is that you do make friends. What has surprised me is the booktubers that I followed for a while before doing my own channel that I'm now friends with. It's like it's funny because they're my friends now, and when I first started speaking to them I was a bit starstruck, which is sounds so stupid because like it's YouTube, it's just, but like, you know, when it's like almost like the popular girl at school is befriending you kind of starstruck. Like there are people that I watched for a while and I still watch who I can now like pick up my phone and message. Like, to me that is just baffling, this whole like parasocial relationship thing that we have going on with people on screens. Just like, it does kind of like, it gets to everybody. So like the fact that they would want to be friends with me is baffling because they've got a platform, therefore why would they want to be friends with me? So yeah, that surprised me in a good way because like, you know, the friends the friends that we've made along the way. In a bad way, it's kind of like the drama and the clickiness that some people can get. So you've got people out there who think they are better than other people because of the books that they read or that they don't read, and I'm not about that life. Like, to be fair, that's not a surprise. That has been happening for time immemorial. People have been cliquey, and you know, that's just how it happens. But yeah, that's the thing that's kind of a shame. I felt like as a group, as book lovers, we would have something in common and it would be a less drama-filled space, but unfortunately reality is that not everybody's going to get along, and sometimes that causes drama, and I don't want drama, but unfortunately if there are humans there will be drama. So yeah, that's kind of that one. Question 2, how do you balance reading and Booktube with the rest of your life? Define rest of your life, because I don't have a life. That's how I do it. So my Booktube is really, it's a hobby for a start. Like, I'm not like sitting there thinking of things and like thinking of how to make my content better. I am, but not in like a job capacity style way like some people do. Like, I have a job, and I go to that job, and YouTube is not that job. So I don't think about it as a job. It is a hobby. And so I'm really good at forgetting about it. You know those kind of people that will hyper focus on an activity, buy all the stuff for it, really go in on it, and then abandon it. I'm kind of like that in general in my life, but also kind of with Booktube. So I had a period when I was on fire with my Booktube, and I had videos done in advance, like weeks in advance. I was planned weeks in advance. I knew what I was doing, and then something happened and I don't know what it was, and all of a sudden it was like, oh crap, I need to get a video up for tomorrow. I better film something. As I'm filming this, I need a video for tomorrow, so we're still on that train. I do want to do better, but yeah, it's not. I'm not great at balancing reading. It's just something that I do. I don't really watch films or TV or go out places that often. Like, I'm not a social butterfly type person. I know you wouldn't know it from the interactions you have with me online, but I'm not a social butterfly. I don't like going out, especially post Panini. I am not for it. Like, people can still say 6 feet away from me, please. Like, I went to Busted and I came back with COVID. I am not having a good time of it. Like, I did not enjoy that scenario. So yeah, if I am in the house, I am reading. And I have a lot of downtime because I don't have kids. I don't have a big family that I need to see. Like, there's the things that other people have that takes away from the reading time are things that I don't tend to have, so it's a lot easier for me to read. I also listen to a lot of audiobooks. I do it when I'm driving. I listen to audiobooks while I'm doing bits around the house. So yeah, just that's how I think I answered that question. Question 3. Have you ever thought about starting a Patreon? Yes and no. So I've never actively like gone ahead and like tried to do it or anything like that, but it is something I've considered doing if I were to hit a certain subscriber goal. Like if suddenly I became viral and got loads of subs, I might consider doing something like a Patreon. I did consider it at a time where I was having a really bad time of it. I was unable to work. I was really unwell. YouTube was all I was doing, and I was like, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can actually like make a bit of a career out of it, and like we'll do like I'll come up with all these video ideas, and I'll have a Patreon. And I'll do like separate things on my Patreons and and it just wasn't feasible for it. It's not, you know, it was like a panic moment. So not seriously thinking about making a Patreon. I do join Patreons. I like the Patreons that I'm a member of. I like the sense of community that's given me. But like I say, this is a hobby, so it's not really like, it's not a goal that I have to become YouTube famous and have a Patreon. If I do happen to become YouTube famous, I might do it, but that's not gonna happen. I don't want it to happen. Please don't make it happen. Anyway. Question 4. Have you made any mistakes on Booktube? Have you seen a single one of my videos? Of course I have. Everybody makes mistakes. If you say you don't make mistakes, you're lying. Or you really need to look at what you're doing because you've made a mistake somewhere and you've just not realised it yet. I have probably made countless mistakes. Can I think of any off the top of my head? No. I mean, I mispronounce names. See if I kept all the bloopers, there would be hours of footage of me just being like, I can't speak. I don't know what other types of mistakes really to think of. Like, I tried using an editor that was really bad, not a person like an editing software. That was a mistake, if I do say so myself. But I can't really think of like any other mistakes. Befriending certain people, I would say that would be a mistake, but you never know until you do it. I don't know. If I've made mistakes that you feel like are significant enough that I need to do something about it, can you please let me know? Question 5. Do you have any advice for new booktubers? Look, I am not the kind of person that should be doling out advice for something like this. I would say maybe like look at successful booktubers and see what they're doing, and if they have any advice, like, don't come to me for advice. I'm not... Well, actually, right, okay. I do have some advice. Be honest, be as authentic as you can be, and try to take on any criticisms. So like, say I pronounce a name wrong and someone says, this is how you pronounce it. I'm not going to be like, how dare you? I'm going to be like, thank you, that's really helpful, because sometimes even when I put things on to record, like play of someone saying the name, I still struggle with it. So like sometimes seeing it written out phonetically, like there are other ways that people can help me with things like that, but I think just like try to be kind, try to treat people how you would like to be treated, and if someone is being horrible, just block them. Don't engage, just block them. Like, if all they have in their lives is being nasty to people online, just don't bother. Like, I don't care. I have never had hate comments. I actually haven't ever had a hate comment, which is quite nice, actually. I don't know if it's just because I'm so small, or if I'm just amazing, or if they've just not found me yet, but I've never had a hate comment. But whenever I do see hate comments online, I will report them personally. I will report them for other people, and my advice to my friends is always just disengage. Don't engage with it. That's all they want. They want attention. They are like a child having a temper tantrum. What they want is your attention, and they want to live rent free in your head. But all that's happening when people give you hate comments is that you are living rent-free in their head. So don't stress about it. Like, that would be my advice. If anybody comes at you in a hateful manner, don't... You know that Taylor Swift song? Sorry, I'm a little bit addicted to Taylor Swift at the moment with like the rest of the world. That Taylor Swift song, I Forgot That You Existed. Just listen to that song. Listen to that song. That's how we want to behave when it comes to people who are being nasty. It isn't love, it isn't hate, it's just indifference. Like, that's how you want to be. Question 6. What are your thoughts on the YouTube algorithm? My thoughts on the YouTube algorithm are that I don't know how the YouTube algorithm works. At all. Like, at all. Like, I know it'll show me more videos of what I've been watching. Like, I get that. I don't know, other than that, how it works. I've been getting recommended my own videos, so I really have no clue how it works. Question 7 is split into 2 parts, A and B. So 7A is, how do you decide what videos to make? And B is, are you ever overwhelmed with video ideas? So how do I decide what videos to make? I always do a TBR and a wrap up. Those are the 2 easiest videos to make. I am really bad for keeping myself motivated to read. So if I have too much choice, I cannot pick up anything. It's like I get overwhelmed and everything shuts down. So having a TBR, I still mood read. I just pick myself a large enough TBR of like, I go to my TBR and I go, what is calling to me? And I pull those books and then I will wedge them into any prompts because I love readathons. So I'll wedge them into any prompts that they fit and then I will mood read from my TBR that month. And if I decide I want to read something outside my TBR, fine. I just pick it up. But I need to pull a TBR together to give me an idea of like a smaller selection. So like, I'm one of those people that will go on Netflix and just like keep scrolling because I don't know what to watch. I need a smaller pool. So TBRs, excellent videos for me. Wrap-ups, I really enjoy doing because it's like a little snapshot of what I read in the month and I can go back when I'm like, what did I think of that book? I can always go back to my wrap-up. And also I've been told by my friends that the way I speak about books that I've read makes them want to read them, which I think is really cool. So if I can get you onto a book that is really, really good and doesn't have a lot of attention, or one that you've been thinking like, oh, I'm not sure about, I would love that. Or books that I'm just like, you just need to stay away from this, or like, don't do it, girl, don't do it. You know, I would love to do that. I love watching other people's wrap-ups because it gives me an idea of whether or not I want to pick up a book or how I want to prioritise books. I just love wrap-ups. TBRs, wrap-ups, absolute bread and butter of Booktube. Always going to do them. I enjoy doing tags, obviously. I always find it interesting because tags allow you in some ways to recommend books that maybe people don't see. Again, I love recommending books. I love talking about books that I've read, and that's the whole reason I started this channel. And then other tags like this just get me talking. Like, if you watch my first video, don't watch my first video, you'll see how much more awkward I am. Like, I might be more cringy now, but I'm less awkward. There's a hair in my eye. Like, I might be more cringy now, but I'm definitely less awkward in front of the camera. And by camera, I mean my phone. Because... phone. Yeah, but other than that, I have been trying to think of other ideas of things to do, but it really just depends on what I'm up for. Like, I film weekly vlogs. I've been enjoying doing the weekly vlogs, actually. But I do weekly vlogs, but because I'm doing the weekly vlogs, it then has put me off doing specific vlogs. So I know other creators will read a series vlog or read this vlog. Like, a lot of my friends are doing so-and-so made me do it. So reading books recommended by one person and doing a vlog or a video while they're reading that. I've not cracked a way that that's possible for me right now. Just because of things like I'm chronically ill, I'm disabled, I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So like, going out with what I'm already doing has been a bit of a struggle for me. So I've not done it yet, but hopefully I'll figure it out. I've also wanted to do a series about EDS itself, but again, I'm just not sure where to start, so I have not done that yet. And part B, am I overwhelmed with video ideas? No, not even slightly. Not even slightly. My video ideas, probably for the next year or so, are going to be coming off a list that my friend Vicky just verbally just bleh at me. There are no thoughts in here. No thoughts. Absolutely no thoughts. I really, really struggle. Like I knew I wanted to do recommendations, and so I decided to do it by genre. So like I had one a month, and then I ran out of genres that I read, so I didn't do any more. And I don't want to go back and do the same genres again, because I kind of I recommended all of the books that I would recommend, so I would just be rehashing the same video without any new recommendations. I would have to wait, I think, a while so that I can read more books to recommend more books. But yeah, like I'm not overwhelmed with ideas because I have no ideas. Yeah, I have no ideas. Like I'm really, really I'm actually really dumb, like when it comes to creative sort of things. I used to be really good at it, but my brain is not what it used to be. Question 8. Have you regretted posting a video? Kind of, yes and no. So, once I've edited my video, I don't watch it again. I do not watch it again. At all. So, yeah, I can't remember what I've posted to regret posting it. But at the same time, I know there are old videos where I am cringy and I am awkward, and I probably don't want them to be, people watching them, which is why I don't watch them, because I don't want to see that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't mean enough to me. No, that doesn't mean enough to me, but like, I've not done anything that is harmful that I'm aware of. But as far as I know, I've not done anything that is harmful or controversial or is going to backlash in any way, because it's just not the kind of person I am. I maybe regret posting my goals video. Like, we'll see how that goes when I look over it again and do my reaction to my goals video later on. Question 9 is also in 2 parts. So A is, are the number of viewers/subscribers meaningful to you? And B, are the number of viewers/subscribers a measurement of success? So, are the number of subscribers meaningful to you? Yes, and no at the same time. So yes, because anybody subscribing to my channel is, to me, like massive. Every time I see you have a new subscriber, I'm like, oh my god, somebody actually thought I was worth subscribing to. Like, I have quite tough criteria for who I will subscribe to. Like, if someone's voice gets on my nerves, won't subscribe. If someone says something I don't like, I won't subscribe. Like, I have a basis of criteria in my head for who I will subscribe to, because I spend a lot of time watching YouTube. So for somebody to then subscribe to me, it means a lot, because it's like, wow, like, you see me as someone who is worth watching and listening to and paying attention to, which is seriously humbling. Like, that is insane that anybody would watch. Like, even my friends, I'm like, you don't actually need to watch my videos. Like, I know my friends watch my videos because they're my friends. Like, it's not, I mean, they might like them, I don't know. I know Vicky likes them because they help with their migraines. But, I know that Tori likes seeing what I get up to because we don't see each other very much. Things like that. Like, I know my friends watch my videos a lot of the time because we're friends, but when a total stranger subscribes, it's like, wow, like, somebody actually thinks I'm worth something. Which sounds really sad, actually. But, you know what I mean? Like, it means a lot that somebody has chosen to pay attention to you in amongst the masses that are online. So it means a lot. But at the same time, conceptualizing, I only have like nearly 300. It's like 270-ish, I think. I can't remember. Subscribers, somewhere in that region, like the 250 to 300 bracket. I can't conceptualize that many people watching me. And then when I see people who've got like thousands of subscribers, I can't conceptualize that in my mind. Like, I know like people like Taylor Swift can maybe conceptualize it because they see the people in the stands. Again, we're talking about Taylor Swift, I'm sorry. But like, the idea of me standing up in front of 200 plus people and doing something like this is a little bit like, oh, okay. Like, I can't, conceptualize it in that way. Even though I have actually done that. Like, I've been on stage enough times that I've done things like that, but never as me, always as a character. So yeah, like, it's meaningful in the way that like somebody has given me their precious time and not meaningful in the sense that I can't put a conceptualization to it, if that makes sense. And are the number of viewers, subscribers a measurement of success? Again, yes and no. Like, obviously, the more numbers, the more successful you are, just in general. But for me, success means that you're aiming for something. Like, I'm not aiming to be viral. I'm not aiming to be a big creator, a big YouTuber. That is not my aim with this channel. My aim for this channel is to do something as a hobby, to talk about books that I like for myself, even if I'm the only person who's seeing these videos. Like, just filming, editing and uploading these videos is success for me when it comes to this channel. Like, I don't need the numbers to back up success because it's not the aim, it's not the goal. Like, so it just depends. Like, if your goal is to bump your numbers, yes. And yes, I do feel somewhat successful when I see that I have, like, hit certain goals of subscribers, because who wouldn't? You just do. Like, in your mind, you're like, oh my god, all these people, like, want to spend time watching me. So yeah, you do kind of feel successful, but not in, like, the goal-oriented way, if that makes sense. Question 10 is slightly related. Are you disappointed by the growth on your channel? Again, this is like a yes-no question, because at one point I did want to be like, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do YouTube, blah, 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 like, and the growth is slow. Like, your growth on this on this platform, unless you go viral or you have, like, other bigger creators in your friend group and, like, supporting you and doing things publicly with you to direct their viewership onto you, you don't grow quickly. I've seen some people go from 0 to 60, like, bang. And I don't mean, like, you know what I mean, as a metaphor. I've seen some people grow exponentially on this platform, and I think that would probably terrify me. So yeah, but at the same time, the fact that, like, 200 plus people have subscribed to me is something that I could not have imagined, because I started this with, like, nobody subscribed to me. So that is, I don't know, again, because I'm not goal orientated towards YouTube being my main sort of thing, it's hard to be disappointed, because every person that's lending me their ear for, or their viewership, is specifically special. So how could I be disappointed in that? Even if it was only my friends, I wouldn't be disappointed, because this is not a goal that I've orientated myself towards, to be YouTube famous. You know? Question 11. Have you ever thought about quitting Booktube? Only every single time I realise I need to film a video. I know I said I do this for fun and for hobby and blah blah blah. Like, I know I said all that. I know what I've said previously. But there are certain times where I'm like, the mood dips and I feel worthless. And I'm like, who even cares? I've only got like a handful of people watching these videos. Like, because I don't get high views. Like, I think the most views I've had have been in, like, 60s, 70s. That's not a lot of people compared to, again, like, some people are getting hundreds of thousands, millions of views. It's nothing. And people don't comment that often. Like, my friends will comment, but I don't have, like, in-depth discussions with people about books like I wanted to when I started the channel. So sometimes it makes me feel a bit down, and I'm like, what's the point of doing this? Like, I've kind of hit a wall with it. I have no inspiration for videos. I'm not as interesting as other people. Why would anybody watch me? This, you know, it takes up time, it takes up energy, it takes up bits of my health, which is not always great. And I feel like a failure if I don't get a video up in time. So why am I doing this to myself? But then when I do film and I do upload, I feel good about it. It's just like, it's mental health, isn't it? But yeah, like, this year, for example, I did consider sort of dialing back or quitting Booktube after this year, but then something exciting came up next year to do with Booktube, so I'm like, well, now I've got to keep going, because now I suddenly feel this boost of, like, excitement for it again. But I think everybody goes through that. You have, it's a whole roller coaster. You know, Ronan Keating said it, life is a roller coaster. And this is what I mean by saying that I'm cringy, but not awkward. Question 12 again comes in two parts. Part A, what are the most touching comments? And B, what are the most negative comments? So Part A, the most touching comments are when people engage and comment on bits from your video. So like if someone has been unsure about reading a book and me reviewing it makes them go, oh well, I really want to read that now, or recommending it or whatever, you know. Like if someone picks up one of my recommendations and lets me know that they've picked up one of my recommendations, that is really touching. Like the fact that they've like taken on board what I've said is really, really touching. When I see the comments and the emojis in the comments and knowing that people have taken their time to just do that, it is an easy way to support a creator and engage. And when I see that someone has taken the time to do that, or even just someone taking the time to comment, it's like, you know, it is really touching, because it's better. It's more than just passively watching things, which I do most of the time. Like I engage with my friends' stuff, but I don't really engage with like massive booktubers or massive YouTubers that I watch, because they're not, I'm going to get lost in a sea. Like when there's like hundreds of comments, me saying, oh, that was a great video, it's not going to mean anything to anybody. But because I only get like 1 or 2 comments, somebody saying I really enjoyed your video means the world to me. So if you see a smaller YouTuber, or you see someone who has lower views or no comments, just drop them a comment. It really does like mean the world to people. And those negative comments, I've not had any negative comments yet. Again, I don't know if that's just because I'm amazing or because they've not found me yet or whatever. But I've not had negative comments. I've seen other people with negative comments, and I think the most negative comments are the ones where people just want to try and rile you up or argue. Like, I have no time for that. Like, we can disagree, but unless I've said something that is like fundamentally just wrong, then I'm not interested in arguing with you about a disagreement. I'll talk to you about it. Like if you think one thing and I think another thing and you want to talk about it, fine, absolutely fine, not a problem. But if you're just being nasty for nasty's sake, I don't care. But luckily, like I said, I've not had these comments yet, but I've seen that on other people's posts. And if you do that, I will report you. Like, just let it be known. And we do take screenshots of people being horrible in comments, pass them around group chats and laugh at you. So think about that before you leave a nasty snarky comment on one of my friends' videos again. Question 13, which is the last question. In regards to Booktube, where do you see yourself in 5 years? God, 5 years is a hard thing to conceptualise. Again, like, especially, like, I feel like, does anybody else feel like, because of the pandemonium, that time has become dilated in some way? So, like, when you say, like, 5 years ago, I think much further back than it actually was, because the lockdowns just made time compress. It feels like nothing got done, so, like, time didn't pass. 5 years, what would that be? 2028, end of 2028. Oof, I don't know. I would be 36. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep doing this. Maybe I won't. We shall see. Maybe I'll be really, really famous. And yeah, that's not going to happen. But yeah, hopefully, my biggest goal is to get myself to a library of 1,000 books and be better at choosing books that I love and allowing myself to go outside of my comfort zone. Those are my goals. Hopefully, you know, I will continue to do this if I enjoy it. If not, hopefully I'll have the sense to stop. But yeah, we can only see. Maybe I'll react to this in 2028 and see where I am. Thank you to all my friends that I've met through Booktube. You don't understand, I don't think, how much you mean to me. It's been a privilege getting to meet you, and it's been a privilege getting to talk to everybody that has talked to me in the comments, getting to meet people, getting to do all these incredible things. I have done more incredible things in the past few years since meeting my bookish friends than I have in God knows how long. Like, since like high school. Since maybe even university. Like, it has been a privilege to get to know you. and I hope that we can continue to do amazing things, be it online or offline, or both. I don't know. But yeah, thanks very much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.